All right, so welcome to another awesome episode of the Ash Cash Show every Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much for joining. If you are not subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you go to ashcashtv.com and subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can see us live every Monday through Friday. Officially on YouTube. We're also streaming on Facebook. We're streaming on Twitter. We're streaming on Twitch. We're streaming on Twitch. And then we're also streaming on IG Live. So if you're following on IG, I am Ash Cash. You'll see us on IG as well. And so today, let me just pull up the news. We got some awesome news. So as you know, the way we do this show is the first half an hour we talk about the news, what's hot in the news. We also give you what is pertinent to your life, to your pockets. But then also after that, we open it up for Ask Ash Cash. So anybody who has any questions, you can email those questions. You can put them in the chat, or you can also email, put them in the chat, or put them in a box if you're looking at IG. So make sure you do that. Michelle Major, good morning. Damian Rose, what up, homie? Good morning. All right, cool. So we're gonna kick it off. So first, happy birthday to El Hajj Malik El Shabazz, right? So happy birthday to El Hajj Malik El Shabazz, aka Malcolm X. Today is Malcolm X was born May 19th, 1925. So happy birthday to Malcolm X. And I want to leave you with some quotes, or give you some quotes. I used to do something called the Daily Word, which I might just institute, where I give you a power quote to start the day off with. And so I'm gonna give you a couple of Malcolm X quotes that resonated with me. And the first one is about freedom, right? It says, nobody can give you freedom. Nobody can give you equality or justice or anything. If you're a man, you take it. Man or woman. And what I love about that quote is that, abundance is our birthright. Freedom is our birthright. And so at the end of the day, when you think about people fighting for freedom, or people fighting for something that's already theirs, nobody can give you anything that's already yours. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that as we start to think about life and what we're doing, what I wake up for, and my goal is to teach people how to gain freedom financially, because at the end of the day, it starts with the mind. So that's why it's mind right everything. So it's never money first. I want y'all to be clear on that, right? It's always mind right, money right, mind right, life right, mind right, grind right, mind right, health right, mind right, love right. Everything is mind right? And so at the end of the day, if you have your mind right first, and having your mind right also is attached to your daily practices, right? So it's attached to your connection to your higher power, God, the universe, Allah, Buddha, Jesus Christ, whatever you believe in, having that attachment to your higher power is focused on mindset, right? And that's freedom. And then meditation, right? Going within, tapping into your God self. That's also freedom. And so you got to start with the mindset first. And as you start with the mindset, then everything else starts to go into play. But I use financial education and just finance in general as that way to help you gain your true freedom, because your freedom is yours already. As the Honorable Sean Carter said, lock my body, can't lock my mind, right? Because at the end of the day, it's about mindset. If you have your mind together, then everything else falls into place. So I love that quote. And I'll give you another quote that says, given what we're going through right now, I think this was a honorable and a quote from Malcolm X that is good for the times, because at the end of the day, where we are right now, you cannot focus on the future without preparation today. And so what you do today, right, during this time of pandemic, this time of uncertainty, what you do today is really going to, dictate your outcome. Is going to dictate what your life is going to look like in the future. And so just make sure that you're taking this time to not just reflect and think about what this time is bringing, but also, make sure that you're tapping in within, and you're moving in a direction that you're planning. You're taking the steps today that will eventually give you a better future, right? Because at the end of the day, we don't know what tomorrow holds, but if we do the best, right? If we do the best that we could possibly do, everything else is going to fall into place. Wall Street Philippe says proper preparation prevents poor performance. I love that. That's a big fact, right? Proper preparation prevents poor performance. So salute to that, King. All right. All right. So let's jump in to the news today, and so let's start with the markets. And this is via Morning Brew. So as of close yesterday, the NASDAQ was up 2.44%. S&P 500 was up 3.15%. Dow Industrial Average was up 3.85%. Gold is down 1.32%. But as you remember yesterday, I told you that gold is up overall year to date. And so no worries there. 10-year Treasury is up 8.20 bips. And then oil is up 11.35%. And so so that's the market. And so what it's looking like, the markets are, stock futures held steady in overnight trading after the market scored its best day in over a month on rising optimism about a corona vaccine. And so as you're watching the markets go up, because there's optimism about a vaccine that is potentially, going to be on the market. Futures on the Dow Jones Industrial Average rose about 20 points, while S&P 500 futures were flat. There were little change to the NASDAQ 100 futures. With Monday's gains, the 30 stock Dow jumped more than 900 points, while the S&P 500 closed the day up 3.2%, hitting its highest level since March 6th. And in futures, options futures are just sort of like bets on what the stocks are going to do later, right? So there's what the stock is actually doing, which is today, and that's, the stock market. But then when you look at futures are really, a bet on what they feel like the stocks are going to do, in the future. That's what they call futures. But speaking of coronavirus and vaccines, right? Trump says that he's taking a drug that could cure coronavirus. I'm sorry for laughing. President Donald Trump claimed Monday he is taking a daily dose of hydroxychloroquine, a drug he's long supported as potential coronavirus cure, even as medical experts at the U.S. Food and Drug Administration question its efficiency and warn a potential harmful side effect. I'm laughing because this guy has to be the most irresponsible president that I've ever seen, ever. Like, most irresponsible president ever. In fact, as I was reading it, I was like, yo, like, I can't believe this guy is doing this. Like, you're the president, right? And people, you're leading the free world, right? I talked yesterday about the GDP and how, our economy is bigger than the bottom or the top 3 to 10 economies, right? Like our economy is it's a powerhouse. And so for a sitting president to tell you he's taking a drug that will literally kill you, right? I was watching Neil Cavuto on Fox, and I thought I found it shocking because Fox News normally supports everything that Donald Trump says. For when I watch it, I don't really watch it, but when I see commentary from Fox News, it's mainly in support of what he's doing. And so to see them come out and talk about the facts that if you like I even read on it, I was like, yo, why is he supporting this drug? It actually suppresses your immune system. Like, that's what it's used for malaria, and it actually suppresses your immune system. And so if coronavirus is something that mainly does the same thing where it attacks your immune system, then I'm like, yo, how are you promoting that this drug, you're taking this drug as a possible cure? Like, that's, I don't know. I mean, God bless America. I'll say that. God bless America, because sometimes it's unbelievable what's happening. Joshua Wilson, good morning. V. Henny, good morning. Happily Easton, good morning. John, good morning. Joshua Wilson, good morning. Jackie, what's up, Jackie? Jackie Taylor, good morning. Yeah, so I don't know. I just think that it is, Wall Street Philippe says that, there's a promotion of depopulation, which might be, I don't know, that like I'm starting to feel like that might be the case, because a lot of this stuff is just not making sense, Let me see. So Monique says, well, he doesn't have a heart, so it shouldn't hurt him at all. His brain is damaged, so that shouldn't be his and her wedding says he could want some of us to try it. That's what I think, though, right? It's my money. Good morning, Fifi. Good morning. So yeah, so like, that's what I feel like. I feel like either he has a financial interest in this company, or to his and her wedding point is maybe they want more people to try it and to see what it does, I guess. And by president saying that they're taking it, it makes people a little more comfortable taking it, I guess. I don't know, but that's weird to me. My homegirl Vita says, V Good Energy says, it's all dollars and cents. Bottom line, eradicate groups that continue to have higher birth rates in order to protect those with declining. All math. So I wrote a book called The Wake Up Call. I mean, it's right back there if you can see it. It's called The Wake Up Call, Financial Lessons Learned from 444, where I dissected what was on Jay-Z's album and taught you financially. But in the introduction of the book, I do talk about how, they're saying by 2053, black and brown people are going to be the majority. 2056, black and brown people are going to be the majority, right? Blacks, Hispanics, non-white is going to be the majority in the world, actually. And then in the same breath, they were saying that by 2053, there would be, wealth of black and brown people will go to zero, which I don't think I think that's a way to scare people who are already doing the right thing to feel like, oh, what am I doing this for? You know what I mean? And so I think that there is something to that when you think about depopulation, when you think about, for whatever reasons, right? And this just kind of sticks to me where I look at places like Louisiana, where black people are only 30% of the country or of the state, but 70% of the people who are dying, right? And so I do think that it's weird that when you think about depopulation or you think about coronavirus, that all of a sudden it's hitting the black community the hardest. And so, this is not a conspiracy theory. This is not far-fetched. Think about HIV, right? How HIV wiped out a whole generation, right, in Africa because of tests and vaccines and things of that nature. It wiped out a whole generation. Think about Tuskegee Airmen, Tuskegee experiment, right? And so, and be careful about the information, right? Like where you get your information from and who you're listening to. All right, so we'll move on. In other news, stimulus checks are now going to be distributed on debit cards. And so the Treasury Department announced that it will start issuing some stimulus checks and on debit cards. Until now, payments have, were being directly deposited into individuals' banks accounts, or they were sent paper checks. But now about 4 million payments will be sent on debit cards. It could mean that those people who receive their money, they'll receive their money faster than if they had to wait for a check. And so, the Visa debit card can be activated immediately and can be used to make purchases, to get cash at the ATM, or to transfer funds into your bank account without charge or fee. I'm hoping that how like the bank gives out your debit card, but they'll send your PIN number separately. I hope that's the case. I hope they're not mailing debit cards and PIN numbers that could be activated, at the same time, because I think that that's dangerous, especially, for people who are at a space who are, desperate, right? And so, yeah, you just don't want that to be the case. So hopefully they're taking the proper precautions. I found this interesting, that there is a new name for Chuck E. Cheese's. I don't know if y'all knew this, but there's a new name for Chuck E. Cheese's. So things are changing during this international pandemic. And so is the name of a popular childhood hangout. So Chuck E. Cheese's is now doing business as Pasquale's Pizza and Wings. Y'all knew that? Right, so Pasquale Pizza and Wings, with an entirely redesigned and distinctively mouseless logo, so they don't have the mouse. The change was first reported in the Food and Wine in April, when a woman from Philadelphia shared how she felt duped by the CEC Entertainment brand when she ordered pizza from Pasquale's using Grubhub, with the false impression that she was ordering from a local business, but then found out that it was, in fact, Chuck E. Cheese's. And so in a statement to Food and Wine, the company confirmed the association and clarified that it would not be the end for my guy Chuck. So I guess this is maybe something that they're trying out, which makes sense, right? Because if you think about social distancing, people going out, Chuck E. Cheese's was making most of its money from people coming, holding parties, things of that nature. That's not really happening, and so we talk about pivot a lot, but taking that strong pivot and saying, yo, you know what, we don't have people coming in as often. Or we're not really that open for business. So how can we quickly, right? Which is a quick move. I don't know if they were planning this in before, but how could they quickly get to a space where they're now, being able to still use the same product or service, but do it in a different way? Who would have ordered pizza from Chuck E. Cheese's, right? And so now you rebrand yourself, you change your name, Pasquale's Pizza and Wings. People think it's local. People are willing to buy from it, and now you're getting rid of that inventory that you may have, and you're still thriving your business. So I think it's a good it's a good play. Elisa says, well, I hope they upgraded that pizza. Yeah, because I don't know if that pizza was the best pizza, but definitely a good lesson on how to pivot. In versus news, so we talk about versus. We're fans of versus. So we knew that on Saturday we had Nelly versus Ludacris. There was talks of Fat Joe versus Busta Rhymes. I saw news earlier that they're looking to potentially do Jagged Edge versus 112, which I would watch. I think it'd be dope. But I don't know. They gotta talk ish though. Like don't be like playing all these ballads and being friendly. Like y'all gotta talk ish, because that was the reason why. I mean, all due respect to the queens, Erykah Badu and Jill Scott, but that's why I didn't watch that one, because I was like, nah, too much kumbaya. Like I need some ish talking. When you say versus, it's like I want to watch a match. You know what I'm saying? And so, the other name that's been buzzing around is DMX versus Eminem. And I think that'd be good. I think that'd be good because I think they both have hits. They both were lyrical. And I don't know if M gets as much props for his lyrical prowess. But I think that between Eminem and DMX, that would be a good one. And so they say, he is interested. So rapper Eminem is interested in taking up DMX in his popular versus battle. So Nori, rapper podcast host Nori, shared on Instagram on an Instagram post revealing that Swizz Beatz called called him and told him that Eminem is down to battle DMX on IG Live. So that'd be dope, dope for the culture. So I appreciate that. Keith Murray said, I need that Jada Kiss versus Pusha T. Yo, that'd be dope. I didn't even think about Pusha. But I don't know. I think Jada should go against Fab, man. That's the one I want to see, because I think that like Jada versus Pusha would be dope. I definitely think it'd be dope. But I don't know. I think Fab and Jada, like, their wordplay would be not better, because I didn't really think about Pusha T. I think he'd be dope as well. But I think I want to see Fab and Jada. Freddie versus Jason. I want to see that. Cool. All right. So in TikTok news, so TikTok taps Disney executive to lead the company. And so yesterday, TikTok announced Kevin Mayer will become the next CEO, and his credentials include leading Disney streaming division and strong footwork to that one Drake song. So I'm thinking it's the Tootsie Slide. So I don't know if there's a video out there that's showing Kevin Mayer, doing the 1 foot. The Tootsie Slide. I don't know how to do it, but I don't know if there's a video out there. But I think that TikTok is fastly growing. I know they had some concerns about privacy, and so if you out there TikToking, just be careful. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that they having some issues with privacy and how they're using your privacy. But it's definitely a fast growing platform. I believe is growing among Gen Z, like the younger ones. But I'm seeing a lot of my older cats using TikTok a lot, especially since this quarantine. So just be safe. Just be safe out there. All right, cool. And so Uber is cutting more jobs. So rideshare giant Uber is cutting 3,000 more jobs, closing 45 offices, and reevaluating its non-core businesses. And so we've seen this coming, because at the end of the day, a lot of people aren't traveling as much, and so there isn't going to be a lot of travel that's happening. And so I think that we see this coming, especially with the news that they said the other day, where they're trying to buy Grubhub so that they could increase their business. And so again, when you're looking at these businesses, a lot of them are pivoting quickly. So shall we, right? So when we're thinking about our businesses and our side hustles, make sure we're not just waiting to see how things, what things do, but just make sure that we're pivoting, to make sure that we're going with the times. Speaking of which, we got, small businesses are shutting down. So a Facebook survey showed that 31% of small businesses have shut down in the last 3 months. 31%, which is a lot. An indication that the damage from coronavirus is far from over. 31% of small businesses have stopped operating in the last 3 months, while 52% of personal businesses have shut down, right? And so again, we talk about that pivot. And so here's some numbers so that you can break down. 36% of small businesses reported conducting all of their businesses online, right? Because when you think about it, things are being shut down. So 36% of those businesses are saying everything is being done online. 74% of those business surveyed employees said that they did not have paid sick leave. In the hotel, cafe, and restaurant industries, that number shot up to 93%, right? Because you got to think, these are going to be the businesses that I hit the most. 45% of owner managers of small businesses said that they'll rehire the same staff when they reopen. And so hopefully that'll help quell unemployment. Once they open up, but there's a lot going on. The infrastructure wasn't there before. That's a great point, right? So a lot of businesses who did not have the infrastructure to run their businesses online are kind of stuck, and that's why they have to shut down, and the pivot isn't as easy as it is for those who were doing business online or started to do business online. So that's a great point, Book of Jill. I appreciate that. Let's see. Let's see. So, Apple stores reopen. So, Apple stores are reopening around the country, but you'll need to a face mask and temperature check to enter. So far, nearly 100 Apple stores around the world have reopened with extensive changes, including temperature checks at the door, more frequent deep cleaning, and a requirement that staff and shoppers wear face coverings. Apple is also limiting the number of people allowed in the stores and will begin curbside drop-off and pickup options at the same location. So, um, I think that's a great start. Still, we don't know. There's so many different strands of the coronavirus, so just be careful. I'll just say that. I like curbside pickup if possible. I won't be a hypocrite. I do go to Walmart, and Walmart is probably busier than I cover my face and all that stuff. And so I'm being careful. When I do that, I'm trying to social distance as much as possible. But yeah, just be careful. Just be careful. Last story, which I found was really, really dope. This is a business idol of mine, Magic Johnson. So Magic Johnson's company helps fund $100 million to small businesses, and so Magic Johnson has an insurance company called Equitrust Life Insurance Company, and so he's helping small business owned by women and minority groups secure upwards to $100 million in paycheck protection loans. I think that's important because when you think about the stories about women and minority-led businesses being left out and not being able to have access to these PPP loans, that's well needed. I think that is great that he's doing that. Magic Johnson said to the Wall Street Journal, "We knew why. We knew why the money was gone and couldn't trickle down to small businesses, especially small minority businesses, because they didn't have those great relationships with the banks." Johnson told the Wall Street Journal. So this is easy for us to understand that this is, when you think about it, life and death for so many business owners. They have nowhere else to turn. So I think that was awesome. So yeah. All right, Booker Jill says, that's great. I didn't realize he had a life insurance company. Me either. I'll be honest. He has, but that's why he's a business model, mentor and business model of mine, because I look at him, being somebody that has used his leverage and his celebrity and his business smart, his business acumen to really support businesses in the minority community. So whether it's bringing Starbucks, bringing movie theaters to low income communities. You're like Starbucks, low income, but it's bringing jobs, it's bringing a different economic demographic. But then also he was instrumental in being able to open a lot of low income housing. So he's done a lot, and so salute to Magic Johnson. All right, we're gonna open it up for questions right now. Janae Malloy, good morning. Good morning. Les Moore, Willis, good morning. Randall Avery, good morning. Keisha Adams, good morning. Shelly Love, good morning. My brother Blaze, good morning. Quincy Q Holly, what up, my G? That's my brother right there. Good morning. Kavan T. Noel, good morning. Good morning. All right. Cleaning for you says, yes, Walmart is definitely busy during this pandemic, for sure. We got Fifi, as a trucker, I see a lot of slowdowns and friends being laid off, for sure. I definitely think that's a business, supply and demand, right? And so hopefully, things are going to start to pick up. Let's see. So Cleaning for You says, yes, I am waiting to hear that. And kudos to Magic Johnson on that. We need that tremendously. Yes, Magic is no joke. Young faces smiling. Fifi says Magic. Top stock picks. I'm looking to have a stock expert talk about those. I don't have top stock picks. I stated this before, but I am staying liquid because I want to make a real estate play later on, once we figure out what's going to happen with the coronavirus. And so I haven't really been looking at stock per se. I do have a stock expert that I'm looking to do a webinar with on hopefully tomorrow. We'll see. But I'm looking to do a webinar, so he'll be better to answer that for you, because I don't have any. Not that I'm not watching, but I'm not watching it with an eye on what I would invest in or what I'm investing in. I don't only like to talk about things that I know intimately about. You know what I'm saying? So, but great question for that. Let's see. Uh, Jazz Flesh said, was there a link to find out how to register for the Magic Johnson grants? I mean, I did not see a link, but I'll try to find out information. So I'll post it on my website, mindrightmoney.com, and so just check it out. And if there's a link, then you'll have it there. Let's see. Tina says, how long do you think this is going to last, and how do we properly prepare? That's a great question. And so I do think that and the Fed shares these sentiments, so I'm not just pulling this out of thin air. But Fed chair says that the economy probably will recover by 2021, second quarter. But that's only if there isn't a second wave of the coronavirus, right? I think that my answer is I don't know how long it's gonna last, because how long it's gonna last is gonna be contingent to what people do, right? Meaning that with these businesses opening up, these businesses, like I got a text the other day about a comedy show being opened up, and people start in Atlanta starting to come out, and while I think that is great, because people got to eat, what I'm saying, comedians, I'm pretty sure, what I'm saying, like they make money from live events and things of that nature. I get it, but with science not showing that the coronavirus has been contained, I just don't think it's the smartest thing to reopen up, and so because people are, you got to think about it, people are tired right now. People are tired of staying in the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are tired of not going out. I remember like last week was a busy week for me, and then after it was so busy that by like Friday I was like, I'm not doing nothing. I was like done, shot, and I wanted to go out. Like I wanted to take the family out. I wanted to go out, but I couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's like, where we going? You know what I'm saying? And so and like the only thing, I mean, we've been taking bike rides. We've been doing, stuff that's semi-safe. But like what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? So it's just a weird space to be in. So I get it. I'm not even saying that like I don't get that people are frustrated or whatever. But I do think that we still got to be safe. You know what I'm saying? This is life or death. And not, again, I'm not trying to scare anybody. And I think people's experiences are different, right? Cause I see other people who are like, yo, this is not even that big of a deal. Like, why are we shutting down? It's not even that big of a deal. Well, I lost some close people, you know what I'm saying? Like personally, right? Like I lost, somebody that was like a father figure to me. I lost a childhood, father figure. I lost a friend, family friend. You rest in peace, Fred the Godson. Like there's a lot of people that I know personally that have lost their lives to this. You know what I'm saying? And it might not be to that. Like again, they might have had other complications, because that's the truth, right? With the people that have lost their lives, these are people that had other complications, and I get that. But this virus has sped up the process. Like normally they probably would have survived. But this kind of sped up the process, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like with that being said, we just don't know what's going on. And so that's why, if I hadn't had, people close to me passing, then I'd probably be like, this is probably no big deal. But it's real. When you gotta be in a funeral via Zoom, like it hit different. It hit different. So all these people who are talking like, oh, it's not that big deal. Maybe you ain't have to attend a funeral. You can't be there for your loved ones. You know what I'm saying? You can't support them like you want to support them because of social distancing, because of not, you can't travel, because only 10 people could be at the funeral home. You know what I'm saying? Like it hit different. So I know I'm going off, but to that question, I don't know how long it's going to last. I hope people are being smart, because I think if people are not smart, we are going to see a second wave of people dying. You think about it, 85,000 people died already in America, and initially their goal, not their goal, but initially their number was 200,000. And then when numbers started going down, that's when they're like, wait, open up the country again, All right. Fem Creator says, I'm waiting to make a real estate play as well. MJ the Soul, great answer. V, good energy. Will you be discussing real estate plays from a bird's eye level? I just think real estate. Think about, right. I just gave a story earlier about how many businesses are shutting down. Right, 36% of small businesses are shutting down. So think about the real estate, right? If they're shutting down, think about where they occupied that real estate. Like they no longer have, they don't have need for physical places for that real estate, right? Think about all of the I think it's like 30 million, but I think it's more like 60 potentially. But 30 million people who have been fired, laid off, on furlough. Think about all those people. And then you'll also think about how, those people no longer have jobs. They get unemployment. Unemployment is going to, has been stretched, but they're trying to stretch it some more. But once unemployment stops, what's going to happen with those folks? You know what I'm saying? And these people have rent. These people have mortgages. So, like, there's a lot going on. And what I'm saying is, with all of that going on, I think that towards the end of the year, the prices of real estate are going to go down, is what I think. Because you're going to have like foreclosures, you're going to have short sales, you're going to have people downgrading. Like, that's just reality. I know that in some parts of the country, the real estate business is booming. But I also know that the numbers are the numbers, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not preying on the demise of people not being able to pay their bills or stuff like that. But I do see that it's a big possibility that there's going to be a lot of real estate on sale. So whether it's through short sale, through foreclosure, and so for me personally, I'm interested in buying land. And so and so I'm looking for deals as it relates to land, because what this coronavirus has shown me is that if this were to happen again and there's like a big shutdown, I want to be able to be self-sustainable, right? And so I want to have food being grown on my own land. I want, what I'm saying? So that's why my vision had changed, right? So at one point, I'm satisfied with where I live now. But it's not to my liking, and my family, you know what I'm saying? So I think that, we've now have been thinking about land. And so that's why there's a whole thought process of like, all right, let's stay liquid so that if, things, do, go south from a, real estate perspective, that we could take advantage of it. But at the same time, when to the point that Davida made, but at the same time, from a bird's eye view, if you're looking for first time home buyers, you think about, densely populated places, like New York, I'm not, real estate, I'm not sure what real estate is doing there. You know what I'm saying? So there's just going to be a lot of opportunity, I believe, for people who are in a position to do so, to take advantage of real estate. So, let's see what we got. All right. So let me go to the question box. Spoiled Brat 67 says, Ash, what do you think about the company Stash? I think Stash is dope. I think Stash is a good company that can help that, because I get a lot of questions about like the Stashes, the Robinhoods, the Acorns. And so I'm going to do I think I said this last week and I didn't just get a chance to do it, but I'm going to do a blog post on the different, like comparing these online places, because I think that Stash is a good company, but there's others out there, so I'm gonna definitely look into that for you. Let's see. And so Tina, all right, so I answered this, right? So how long do you think this is going to last? So I answered my thought process on it, which is that I don't know. I think that it could last right now with everything being the same. It should last. I think it's going to last till 2021, top, second quarter. But if there's another breakout, I think that it's going to, be longer than that, you know. All right, so Janae, so thank you, Janae. So Janae Malloy says that Magic Johnson's PPP loan is mbecp.com. So for those who asked if there was a link, if you go to M as in Mary, B as in boy, E as in Edward, C as in Charlie, P as in Paul.com, mbecp.com, you'll be able to see the information for there. So Janae Malloy, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. T Boogie, what's the good word? Joel Castillo, good morning. Frank Jeffrey, good morning. Stephanie Thomas, what's up, my sister Stephanie? Good morning. Ciandra Potter Holt, good morning. Ruth Artist McLeod, good morning. So good morning on the check-in. All right, let's see what else we have. I like this question. And so the Kimberly Henderson says, should you stop your debt snowball and save? I would. It's a great question. So for those who don't know, a debt snowball is trying to be debt free, right? And what the snowball means is that you take all of your debt, all the credit card debt that you have, and you will take the lowest amount to the highest amount. And each month you will take you will pay the minimums on all cards. And then you will have a certain amount allocated towards debt, and you will pay off the smallest amount. Then the following month, you snowball, meaning that the money that you pay the minimums again, and the money that you would have paid to the smallest, now that it's gone, you snowball that money to the next one, and then you keep doing that until you have that one credit card with the large amount, and then you aggressively attack it. I like that strategy when everything is status quo. Because if you have certainty on your income, if you have certainty on what your money is going to look like tomorrow, then that's a great strategy, right? Because there's security there, and you want to make sure that you're paying off your debt and get out of debt so you can start aggressively saving and investing. The problem with doing a snowball right now is that there's so much uncertainty. And because there's so much uncertainty, if you, for instance, start to pay down, you snowball and you start paying down all this debt, if you lose your job, if your income stops for whatever reason, now you're going to have to either find a new job very quickly or rely on that debt that you just paid off, and now you're back to where you started. Or worst case scenario, the credit card companies see that you paid it off, starts to withdraw access to that limit, because they can do that. They can, like back in 2008 when people couldn't pay, or when the recession or the economy wasn't doing that well, credit card companies were taking credit limits away from people, in the fear that they would use this money in default, so they would lower people's credit limits. And so you do this snowball and you pay all this stuff off, and then now, credit card companies take your limits away, and then now you're stuck. So I think the best thing right now as a temporary solution is to continue to pay the minimums if you can, right? If you can't pay the minimums, call your credit card companies, have them, see what kind of deals or workarounds they have. But if you can pay your minimums, pay your minimums, and then the rest of the money that potentially would have went to snowballing your debt, start to save that up. Because at the end of the day, having money saved that you have access to is better than being debt free, right? Because when the ish hits the fan, you want to be able to provide yourself with the necessities. Best case scenario, your income doesn't change, and 6 months from now we see that everything is good, everything's back to normal. I'm quoting that because I don't think things are going to go back to normal. There'll be a new normal. But 6 months from now, you have money stashed up, and if you did not your income stayed the same, then you could take that money that you normally would have, snowballed, and start the snowball process again. But I'd rather you have some savings than pay off the debt. So great question. Let's see. Mike T, what up, Mike T? Mike T on the check-in. Let's see. Let me see. What was the name? So somebody said, Raf Ruck says, what was the name of that insurance company again? So Magic Johnson's insurance company is Equitrust Life Insurance Company. So it's Equitrust Life Insurance Company. But if you want to check out the PPP loans, it's mbecp.com. So it's mbecp.com. There we go. All right. That's dope. Okay, perfect. Okay. All right. So what else? What else we have? Let's see. All right, we're running out of time. Let me see. Okay, so Cleaning for You says, do you have information on the Innovis credit report and any information regarding the Ultra FICO score? I'll do research. Research on that. I don't have information on that right now, but I'll do research on. I never heard of Innovis credit reports, so I'll look into that. And then the Ultra, I know about the Ultra FICO score, but I want to get my facts straight before I start to give you guys information. So I want to make sure I'm giving you the right information. So I appreciate you. All right, so we are winding down. If y'all got more questions, make sure y'all put them in the chat box. So if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on Twitter, please put your comments in the comment box, and then we'll answer them there. If you are on Instagram, you can put your questions there. But make sure, listen, I need y'all to do a couple of things. Make sure y'all go to shop. Make sure you go to mindrightmoney.com. I'm updating the news there every single day. Under the resources tab, I have resources, free resources. I have online courses. I have books. I have planners and e-guides. So everything that you need to get your money right is available at shop.mindrightmoney.com. So please visit the website. If you are, please go to ashcashtv.com to subscribe to my YouTube page. So I want everybody to subscribe to the YouTube page. Yeah, and then my guy Garvin Reed. What up, Garvin? My guy G. That Middle Eastern money. Salute to my guy Abu Dhabi in the building, or Dubai. Are you in Dubai or Abu Dhabi? I think you're. I don't know, but I know you. You know what I mean? Getting that Middle Eastern money. You know what I'm saying? Middle East money. Getting that Arab money. All right. Let's see. So, how do you think your industry will change, specifically speaking engagements? All right. So, that's a great question. So, Hutch says, how do you think your industry will change, specifically speaking engagements? So a couple of things. I think that it's going to change drastically, because when you think about the speaking industry, it's tied into events. And so events, think about all these big national conventions and people gathering and things of that nature. I don't know if people are going to be comfortable doing that just yet. And if they are doing it, they're going to do it from a social distancing perspective, which means that a place that can hold 10,000 people will now be able to hold, only get 2,000 people. You know what I'm saying? And so on and so forth. And so I do think that the industry is going to take a big shift. That's why it's important that speakers are now, for instance, somebody like me. I was exclusive. I didn't do daily. I wasn't on. I wasn't doing this daily podcast, doing lives all the time, because supply and demand. So in order for me to get top dollar as a speaker, I would do a lot of interviews. I would be on television a lot. I would be on radio a lot, because I would write books a lot, because that was my marketing mechanism to get people to pay me, 4 and 5 figures to talk. You know what I'm saying? Give those top dollars again, because they're giving those top dollars because of what they were making. And so if live events are not going to be making the big money that they were going to be making before, then they're probably not going to be able to pay speakers like they could before, which is forcing a lot of speakers, including myself, to do a lot of stuff online. And so, that's why I'm doing this daily show. Number one. Number two, I get a lot of behind the scenes money, I guess, where organizations might book me to do webinars and things of that nature. But even those prices, it's crazy. I won't say the name, but I had a deal with a company that was hiring me to do some work for them. And they were charging, or they were paying, in the thousands to do workshops, but now they're paying $50 an hour. I said, no, thank you. Right. $50 an hour to do it remotely. I'm like, no, like I'm not going to go from 1,500 to $3,000, doing it live to, $50 an hour. Like that doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? So, I think a lot of companies are, going to that space, you know what I'm saying? Where, they're going to discount a lot of what, speakers are doing because of the scarcity that exists. So I think it's going to impact the speaking business a lot. And so now there's going to be a lot of pivoting that needs to happen, because the people who still need the empowerment are still, they're still around. They still need this empowerment. So now you just got to figure out how do you deliver this empowerment in a different way. Right. And so for me, I'm going to write more books. I'm going to do more speaking engagements. I'm going to do more, subscription based models, like things that are still going to get the same information out to people, but in a way that they could deliver it or they need it right now. So that's a great question. I think that's a dope question. Let's see. Do you believe that Tina says, do you believe there will be another round of stimulus checks? Yeah, I believe there will. I know that the House just passed the HEROES Act, and then it has to be approved by the Senate. But I it may not be approved in this form, but I do think that they understand that there should be another round. I mean, honestly, if you let me tell it, I think that there should be a universal income, right? I think that I don't know how. Don't ask me how we're gonna pay for it. I don't know, but I'm just saying that I think that with everything that's happening, if you want to stimulate the economy, you should provide everybody with universal income. However, the Bernie Sanders and the Andrew Yang's were saying that we would pay for it. I think that's worth looking into, because everybody should get $1,000 a month or something, just to kind of, so that way the worry about everybody having to fend for themselves, because that's what it seems like right now. People got to fend for themselves. I think that would stimulate the economy better, All right. Fifi says we have to encourage people to develop vocational skills like electric, plumbing, welding, construction, especially growing our own food. I agree 100%. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm being wind down on Instagram, which means that my time is up with y'all. But thank you again for tuning in every Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're in the West Coast, then that's 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. West Coast time. Is it Central Time? No, not Central. But thank you for tuning in. Make sure y'all go to ashcashtv.com to subscribe to my YouTube page. Also go to mindrightmoney.com to see what we have there. Make sure that you're also putting going to the resources tab, supporting my books, supporting the planners, the e-guides. Go to the resource, mindrightmoney.com. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Also, I need you to share this. If you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, if you're on Twitter, if you're on Twitch, if you're on Instagram, tell a friend to tell a friend. This is all financial information, no hype. And this is the number one source for financial education. I am Ash Cash. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I'll see y'all tomorrow, same time, same place. Love y'all. Peace.